Officer Dax Yen sprinted down a narrow alley lit by neon runoff and the glow of holo ads flickering above. It had rained. Of course it had. And the puddles reflected a broken city. Neo Seattle, 2159. Towering over him, glass and chrome spires hummed with data. The suspect was close. She was fast. Too fast for someone who didn't upgrade. Dax tapped his neural head-up display, overlaying a heat trail. The thief was only seconds ahead. The AI whispered. Alias, Silk 17. Biomods unknown. Crime. Neural net breach. Tier 5. He reached a fork in the alley. Empty. But something fluttered on the pipework to his left. A red origami crane, pinned with a tiny magnet. It swayed in the breeze. Dax stared at it. Unmistakable. Not just a distraction. An invitation. Before he could pull his scanner, his earpiece buzzed. She's in Club Vanta. She jacked in remotely, through a relay in the alley. Copy. Going in. Dax turned and headed for the warehouse-turned-tech den just down the block. From the outside, Club Vanta looked like a derelict shell. Inside, a dozen users were installed in pods, jacked into a shared neural space through visor rigs and spine cables. He found a spare node and slotted in. The real world dissolved. Now he stood in Club Vanta's virtual body, an endless tower of glass suspended in space, floors that shifted underfoot like liquid chrome, and dancers made of light and shadow spiraling between walls of audio-reactive code. Silk was there, mid-air, building structures of pure data with hand gestures. Her avatar had no face, just a mirrored void that reflected Dax's own. Silk, he called out. You're caught. Drop the net breach code. She didn't flinch. You're not here for me. You're here because something's missing. Something they took from you. I'm here to stop a system crash. Silk smirked. Somehow the mask mirrored it. She snapped her fingers. A shockwave rippled through the club. Dax lost his footing as the environment twisted into static. Force exit, he growled. Everything blinked white. When he regained sight, he was no longer in the club. He stood waist-deep in what looked like a jungle, but it wasn't natural. Every vine, every leaf glowed with faint circuitry, like veins of code running through a biological machine. Server jungle, he muttered. This was old code, buried beneath the city since the first server trees were planted in the early days of the net. A digital ecosystem grown wild, and Silk was navigating it like she was born here. She was climbing a monolithic server tower wrapped in light vines. You don't get it, she called down. This code, it's before the city, before firewalls and corporate censorship. It's the clean seed. That seed's been corrupted. You try to replant it, you burn the city down. She paused. Maybe it needs burning. Dax began climbing after her. His hands brushed against warm data roots, his HUD flickering with packet streams. She reached the top first and slammed a key into the interface. All around them, the jungle bloomed, every server lighting up at once. A hidden port opened. Light swallowed them. They landed in cold. Dax gasped. Snow bit at his face. The simulation had shifted again, this time to the Arctic, a long-forgotten lab sealed beneath glacial ice. It was real once, before VR fully overtook physical storage. Now it was preserved as data, a memory of secrets. The lab was a skeleton of steel and frost. Machines hung from the ceiling like frozen bats. Tubes and cables had cracked under time's weight. A single monitor flickered with ancient command lines. Silk stood at a cryopod. Inside, a man. Identical to Dax. He staggered. That's not possible. Silk looked solemn. They made you. You're not the first Dax Yen, just the most stable clone. They wiped your memory. But the system still remembers you. I'm not a clone, he whispered. You are. The original helped build the system they corrupted. Then he fought back. They erased him, but didn't destroy him. Just rebooted. Dax stared at the chamber. His reflection stared back. Then the door creaked open. Cold wind blew in, and on it, something fluttered. A red origami crane, gliding gently before landing at his feet. He picked it up. His hands trembled. "What does this mean?" he asked. "It's the memory your mind won't hold," Silk said. "Your mark. You used to fold these every time you cracked an encryption wall." He crushed the crane slowly in his hand. Snowflakes fell, soft and silent. "I should arrest you. But now you know," she said. "The code has more to tell you. Or you can go back to forgetting." She turned and walked toward the back of the lab, disappearing through an open door, leaving only fading footprints in the snow. Dax stood still. The screen beside the cryochamber blinked once. System unlocked. ID Yen.prototype.0. Outside, another crane blew in on the wind.